The Secret Knowledge by the Grimm.
The Crowd, A Study of the Popular Mind by Gustave Le Bon. Book 1. The Nature of Crowds. Chapter 1. General Characteristics of Crowds. Crowds behave differently than individuals. When people form a crowd, their collective behavior can become simplified and emotional. Individual reasoning tends to diminish, while feelings and impulses become stronger and more visible. Crowds are extremely suggestible. When a suggestion is made, it can quickly spread through the crowd, leading individuals to act in ways they might not on their own. This can lead to spontaneous, extreme actions based on the dominant emotion or suggestion at the time. The anonymity within a crowd gives rise to a sense of invincible power among its members. This often results in behaviors that individuals would not typically engage in alone due to social or legal consequences. Chapter 2. The Sentiments and Morality of Crowds. Crowds can display a range of emotions, from noble to destructive. The morality of a crowd can fluctuate dramatically, showing great acts of heroism or, conversely, committing severe acts of violence and aggression. The emotional state of a crowd is contagious and can be influenced heavily by its leaders. Positive or negative sentiments can be amplified within a crowd, leading to actions that reflect these exaggerated emotions. Despite their unpredictability, crowds follow basic sentiments that are either very simplistic or extremely exaggerated. This makes them capable of both great moral actions and terrible atrocities, depending solely on the prevailing mood or influence at that time. Chapter 3. The Ideas, Reasoning Power, and Imagination of Crowds. Crowds do not engage in detailed or logical reasoning. Instead, they think in simple images and ideas that resonate on an emotional level. This means that complex ideas need to be simplified to influence a crowd effectively. The power of an image or symbol within a crowd is strong. These symbols can quickly become the focus of attention and action, regardless of the logical connections or the factual basis behind them. Crowds are driven more by the unconscious parts of the brain, leading to behaviors that align more with base instincts and emotions rather than rational thought. This makes them highly unpredictable and easily swayed by compelling images or charismatic leaders. Book 2. The Opinions and Beliefs of Crowds. Chapter 1. Remote Factors of the Opinions and Beliefs of Crowds. Historical and social backgrounds play a significant role in shaping the beliefs and opinions of crowds. These factors are deep-seated and can influence crowd behavior in ways that are not immediately obvious. Traditions and long-standing social structures heavily influence crowd opinions. Crowds tend to respect and follow established customs and are less likely to challenge the status quo unless influenced by significant external factors. Education and the prevailing ideologies within a society also shape how crowds form their opinions. Less educated or less informed groups may form opinions based on misinformation or manipulation by influential figures. Chapter 2. The Immediate Factors of the Opinions of Crowds. Immediate experiences and perceptions can drastically influence crowd opinions. What a crowd witnesses or believes it has witnessed can shape its actions far more than established facts or logical reasoning. Media and propaganda are powerful tools in shaping crowd opinions. The way information is presented and the emotions it triggers can direct crowd beliefs and actions more effectively than rational arguments. Leaders and influential figures wield significant power in shaping crowd opinions. Their ability to connect emotionally and simplify complex ideas into digestible messages allows them to guide crowd behavior effectively. Chapter 3. The Leaders of Crowds and Their Means of Persuasion. Leaders of crowds possess characteristics that resonate on an emotional level with the crowd. They often portray themselves as embodiments of the crowd's ideal and use strong, simple messages to communicate. Persuasion in crowds is not based on logical arguments, but on the authority and charisma of the leader. Leaders use repetition, affirmation, and emotional appeal to sway crowds. The effectiveness of a leader depends on their ability to be seen as a part of the crowd while also possessing distinctive qualities that elevate them above the crowd, allowing them to direct or manipulate the crowd's actions. Chapter 4. Limitations of the variability of the beliefs and opinions of crowds. Crowds are inherently conservative despite their apparent mood swings and are resistant to changes in core beliefs or established traditions. While crowds can seem to change opinions quickly under the influence of strong leaders or persuasive messages, these changes are often superficial and temporary. Deep-seated beliefs and opinions in crowds are slow to change and require significant, sustained efforts and real-world events to alter fundamentally, showing the limitations in how much a crowd's beliefs can truly vary over time. Book 3. The Classification and Description of the Different Kinds of Crowds. Chapter 1. The Classification of Crowds. Crowds can be categorized based on their purpose and nature. Some crowds gather spontaneously with a specific goal in mind, while others form more organically without a clear, immediate purpose. The behavior and characteristics of a crowd can vary depending on its type. For example, political crowds may be more ideologically driven, while festive crowds are more focused on enjoyment and celebration. Understanding the classification of crowds is crucial for predicting their behavior and managing their potential impacts on society and public order. Chapter 2. Crowds termed criminal crowds. Criminal crowds form under conditions where the normal societal constraints on behavior are weakened or absent. These crowds are capable of acts that individuals alone would not usually commit. The anonymity provided by crowds can lead to a sense of impunity, which is often a significant factor in criminal behavior within crowds. Managing criminal crowds requires understanding the triggers that lead to their formation and addressing the underlying causes, such as social injustice or widespread discontent. Chapter 3. Criminal juries. Juries can be seen as a type of crowd where the decision-making process is influenced by the dynamics of group psychology. The opinions of individual jurors can be swayed by dominant personalities or majority pressures. The functioning of juries as crowds raises questions about their impartiality and the influence of non-legal factors in their decision-making. Ensuring fairness in jury trials involves minimizing the crowd psychology effects by carefully managing the jury's exposure to external influences and emphasizing individual responsibility within the group decision process. Chapter 4. Electoral crowds. Electoral crowds are formed during elections and are highly susceptible to the influence of political propaganda and the charisma of candidates. These crowds are crucial in democracies as they directly influence the electoral process through their collective decision-making. Understanding electoral crowds is key to fostering healthy democratic processes, ensuring that the will of the crowd aligns as closely as possible with informed, rational decision-making based on a clear understanding of the issues and candidates. Chapter 5. Parliamentary assemblies. Parliamentary assemblies can function as crowds, where collective decision-making is influenced by political alliances, party pressures, and the charismatic leadership of certain members. The behavior of parliamentary crowds can often reflect the broader national mood, making them a mirror of the society they represent. Managing the dynamics within parliamentary crowds is crucial for effective governance and maintaining the stability of political systems. Each chapter addresses fundamental aspects of crowd psychology, illustrating how crowds influence and are influenced by various social, political, and environmental factors.
Thank you for staying with us. Like this video. Subscribe to our channel. Buy the book by clicking on the link in the description.